Welcome all. Welcome to TBC Live, a live stream conversation. Today, we're going to be hearing from a couple of people. You're going to love it. We sent a flyer out. I hope you got that on Facebook. Listen, I want you all to share this link. Share this link. Share this link. Sharing is caring. No, sharing allows everyone to be a part of this experience. It allows people to connect easier. I want you to know now, pay attention to this. We're going to give a update on Bishop. A lot of people have been texting me about him, and we have an update to give for Bishop at the end of the program. Right now, I'm going to start the shout outs. I want to shout out to Robert Manley. Monica, shout out to you. Happy belated birthday. Charlie Ford, shout out to you. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Yanira and family. Shout out to you, Gerald. Thanks for jumping on and being on. Shout out to Angela Holloway. Again, remember to share this link, share this file so that everybody can view and everybody can get on. It's going to be some invaluable information. I know everybody enjoyed our last TBC Live with Dr. Wilson or Dr. Moore. This week is with Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson, this week it is also with Dr. Wilson. Eric Snodgrass, all the way in Chicago, if that's where you still live. But thank you, Eric, longtime family friend and brother. We also have on Pam Brown. Pam, you're going to really like this. This is right up our alley. I encourage you to pay close attention. This is really good. Anyway, continue to share the link. We're going to take a few more moments, allow everyone to get on, and then I'm going to begin with our introductions. I'm going to be giving an update on Bishop, and the flow is going to be just like that. We're going to do the introductions. The moderator is going to come on. She's going to talk to Dr. Wilson. We're going to do a Q&A after the conversation with Dr. Wilson, and then I'm going to come back, close it out, and give an update on our Bishop. And we will see you all the next time we do a TBC Live conversation. I hope that... Hello, Keith Harris. Minister Keith, I miss you. It's good to see you on. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share this link so that our other friends and family can get on and be a part of this wonderful information. Marquise, welcome. Hello, Marquise, welcome. Hello, Miss Washington. Welcome for being on. Thank you for being on. Again, remember to share this link, share this link, share this link. Sharing is caring, and this is valuable information. You are going to be blessed tonight. I'm telling you, you are going to be blessed tonight. You're going to enjoy this. Just a few more moments before we begin our program. Eric Richardson, it's good to see you on. Thank you for joining us. Share the link, Eric. Make sure everybody gets on. We want everybody to get this information and understand what's happening. Okay, Eric, thank you for the gift certificate for pizza for our boys. That is our favorite, or their favorite pizza. Although we do like Slim and Huskies, but I don't know if they're open. But again, no, thank you for that, Eric. That was very nice of you. We're going to go live in a few minutes here. I'm getting ready to introduce our moderator, and I'm going to introduce our special guest. Again, following the program, I'm going to come back, close it out, give us an update on Bishop, and then we will let you know when we're going to go live again. But again, for now, share this link. I want everybody that's on to share this link so that everybody can enjoy this, so that everybody can receive this information. This will be a very powerful session. You will enjoy this. It's very informative. Just a few more moments. I hope you're enjoying the meditation music. It is a reason behind that. We want to calm everyone down. We want everyone to feel relaxed. We want everyone to enjoy this broadcast, this live TBC broadcast. Um, there's a reason behind this, and you will see pretty soon. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a few more moments. We're going to allow a few more people to get on. So, for those of you who don't have Facebook and cannot share the link with others, we are live on YouTube. I'm looking at it right now. We are live on YouTube as well. So go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and share that link as well. And also remember, once this recording is done, this data lives here so that you can always go back and refer to the information. This is very powerful information. We are doing this to empower and inform our local communities and extended communities, our local church family and extended church family. So continue to share these posts and these links so that we can help as many people as possible. Eric, I understand that you are saying something, but again, this meditation music, you'll see why it's important. Angela Holloway, hello to you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Again, remember to share the link. We're on YouTube and we're on Facebook. Share this information. The YouTube channel is Tabernacle Baptist Church Atlanta. The YouTube channel is Tabernacle Baptist Church Atlanta. Go there if you don't have Facebook and view this broadcast live. Again, YouTube channel is Tabernacle Baptist Church Atlanta. Finally, before we get started, remember to submit your questions in the live feed, either via YouTube or via Facebook. We're going to get those questions down for you, and then we're going to ask those questions for you in the Q&A. The Q&A is going to last 15, 20, maybe even more if questions continue to come in. We're going to try to keep the program just an hour, but remember to submit your question online. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Today we have two very special people with us. The first person is my sister. Her name is Myra Herring. Myra Herring is a brand strategist, a brand consultant, and give me 1 second. We have audio coming down the HDMI line, and it is causing a little bit of an echo. All right. That should have taken care of that. And it did. I am hearing the echo real time, and it's driving me crazy. But Myra Herring is our moderator today. She is my sister. I've been knowing this young lady for a number of years now. She married my best friend, David Herring. Myra has an MBA from Emory. She is also a image consultant and a branding consultant. She has done leadership trainings at our church, and she is moderating this program for us with Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson is a cardiologist. He is a cardiologist at a hospital in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. He's been a medical doctor for a number of years now. What I think is very special about Bruce is that while he accepts traditional medicine and the science of medicine, he believes that all forms of healing should be considered for every patient. He strongly believes in quantum energy and quantum healing. He is a certified energy healer. And not only does he help people's heart physically and with medical science, he also helps it in various other ways that you're going to hear him talk about tonight. Listen, this conversation tonight is going to be very candid. It's going to be very true. And I would ask that you would listen to this conversation with an open heart and an open mind. And I promise you, if you do that, you're going to get something out of it that takes you to another level. Finally, after the conversation in our question and answer period, I will come back and give an update on our bishop. But without any further ado, I present to some and introduce to others Miss Myra Herring.
Thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that amazing introduction. And I'm excited about this conversation. The topic I think is so timely. It's not only timely now for what's going on in the world, but it's just timely in that these principles and these things that we're going to talk about with Dr. Bruce Wilson will be impacting us from today till um, times to come. So I think, as Taylor said, pay attention, tap in, tune in, open your hearts, open your mind. I think there's so much that you can learn if you're open to receive. So, with that, how are you, Dr. Bruce Wilson?
Hi, how are you? I'm excellent.
Wonderful, wonderful. I had a chance to catch up with Dr. Wilson a little earlier, and his energy was just amazing. He has so much to share, and so we're going to jump right into it because I don't want to waste any time making sure you have the opportunity to share this information.
Okay.
So, in the introduction, Taylor explained that you believe in holistic, if I can, medicine and a practice where you do a patient by patient kind of analysis. Like every patient isn't the same, and maybe there's different ways to heal different patients. So tell us a little bit more about this. Maybe how you practice traditional medicine and how now you're looking at a more holistic approach and a more open approach to patients healing.
Yeah, so like we were speaking on earlier, I've always known that I was a healer. And going to medical school, I believe, gave me tools to place in my armamentarium, just tools to use. And as I've been practicing, what I'm learning is that there were more tools that I could actually use to help my patients.
Mm.
And that really came about because I was on my own spiritual journey and looking for ways to help heal myself. And in doing so, it led me to this whole world of health out there that kind of we only touch upon and isn't really brought into the mainstream. But I find to be super helpful in a myriad of ways.
Mm. Absolutely. And so many things are connected. We were talking just around how there's unfortunate things about this pandemic, absolutely. But there are things, if you look at it holistically, that are coming out in the earth and ways we're seeing the earth heal that are a result of this pandemic. And if you think about just how we're all connected, this interconnectedness, what is happening in the macro is also happening in the micro space. Can you explain a little bit about how maybe you see what's happening now as just really a sign of something that we need to pay attention to?
So Gaia, the earth is healing itself.
Mm.
With all of the upheaval, we're constantly go. So we're spewing all sorts of toxins into the air, toxins into the water. It needed to take a break from us in order for it to heal.
Right.
But what that also allows is for us to take a break and figure out how we heal ourselves, right? So if we look about, as we say, as above, so below, right? The macro is the same as the micro.
Yes.
The earth heals, so we need to take time to heal ourselves. And when we do that, we'll start incorporating more practices that will be synergistic with the earth's healing. So for instance, we eat a lot of meat, right? And that causes a lot of pollution. By us being indoors, right, we're cutting down on excess carbon dioxide production, clearing the air.
Yeah.
But what that gives us time to do is realize maybe if we stop eating meat, we can also help to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide being produced and further help the earth to heal. But by doing that, what we then do is we start to heal ourselves because you're forced to eat more plants, right? And plant material, if you really think about it, is the original medicine. right?
Wow.
That's where we first got our pharmaceutics from.
From the earth.
Exactly,
Yeah.
from the earth. So by allowing the earth to heal, this will perpetuate us healing ourselves because we're all concerned about health now. Everybody's in a frenzy,
That's
right?
true.
I can't touch this, I can't go here, I have to clean everything.
Mm.
Well, you can clean the outside, sure, but what are you doing on the inside? Because that's what really matters. When we go in
Yes.
search of things, we must first start with what's on the inside. First start with ourselves. And then when we start trying to eat better, right, start exercising more, now that people have time to do so, they're getting out and about, they're jogging, they're biking, right, they're
True.
spending time with family, which heals the heart as well.
Yes.
But all of that together begins to heal the body. So we start to understand that by healing ourselves, we then assist in the earth's healing.
That's powerful. That's powerful. It's all connected. So, what about people that may be a little skeptical and say, well, you know, this virus, it's something that I can't control, it's out of my control. How can, you know, me being focused on healing and, you know, watching what I eat and things like that, how in the world can that, you know, help me from getting a virus or help me to heal from a virus? Like, how are those things even connected?
Because those are positive mindsets, right? And if you put out positivity, you get positivity back. When you say, how can I control this? You absolutely can by focusing on things that promote health within you, right? So when you're focused on those things, you aren't focused on the disease. You aren't focused on being at disease. You are focused on growth and betterment of self. And so that's what you'll end up attaining. So you'll start eating more nutritious things, right? Incorporating stuff like spirulina, macaroon powder, things you may have never tried before,
Yeah.
turmeric. And when you start doing that, you start to heal the body. By doing so, you also decrease the inflammation in the body. And that's one thing I really want to stress to those out there. Inflammation is the key to everything. When it even comes to this COVID virus, right? The coronavirus, it causes a significant amount of inflammation within the body. It inflames the lungs. That's why we get acute respiratory distress syndromes. It causes inflammation within the kidneys and people go into renal failure. It inflames the heart. They go into heart failure. So this is attacking everything, but in an inflammatory way. But a diet that's high in plant protein and high in plant fiber alkalinizes the body, brings inflammation way, way down. What that does is it causes an environment where the virus has a hard time attaching and replicating. It creates an environment that the virus does not like. Viruses excel in acidic environments. So as we're alkalinizing the body by drinking alkaline water, by adding lemon to the water, by eating plant material, we're saying you are not welcome in this vessel. So then when you're focused on these positive things, you're not focused on the negative things. And so the positive things will take heed in your life. And thus health abounds.
I completely agree. So what if I'm someone that I've been eating meat all of my life and I'm hearing you and I want to be healthy and you're saying I need to adapt to this new plant-based diet because it's going to control and help fight inflammation in my body that leads to dis-ease, as you put it. How can someone who has been just used to eating meat forever, me, you know, I'm guilty. How do I transition into something like that? How do I even appreciate the benefits to where I want to really make this lifestyle change, I'd call it? How would you, you know, recommend someone getting into that?
Bit by bit.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I went on my own journey. And the reason I did that was so I could testify to people that you can do it because I've done it. I'm not telling you go out right away and just throw all your meat out, right? Because that's going to create an instance where you're feeling like you're neglecting yourself or you're depriving yourself.
Right.
But if you were to take the time to say, okay, I'm going to eat meat one meal a day, right? What you're going to feel is that when you eat that meat, your energy is really high, but then when you eat that meat, your energy is going to dip, right? You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel sluggish. Skip a day of meat, and you will realize that the next day you have more energy. And it's going to be these tiny positive rewards that are going to motivate you to start cutting more and more. So what I did was I got rid of one form of meat. I said, okay, first let me get rid of pork, right? Since that's what I eat the least.
Okay.
And so slowly over time, every 3 or 4 weeks, I would get rid of another category until I became a pescatarian. But as I was doing this, my energy was going up. And as my energy was going up, my activity started to increase because my energy was higher. So now you have the two main things that promote a healthy body, right? Energy is high, activity is high. So now you're burning calories, right?
Yeah.
And as you realize that it's the meat that's holding you back, you're going to want to change. And when you start to think about these animals that we're eating, we say God is within all, right? Everything has this godly energy. Well, if you think about the animals, right, when they're scared, because they get scared just as we do, their brains release neurochemicals and hormones, right, that excites the body, fight or flight, right? You're getting ready to fight or get out of there. Well, those are negative chemicals, negative responses, right? Harmful ones, things that tell you to be anxious, angry, depressed, sad, right? These are toxins that are once again inflaming the body. Well, once we started that animal, where do those toxins remain? They end up in the flesh.
Absolutely.
Then we eat that flesh. And in fact, telling our bodies to feel the same way that that animal is feeling. This is what we mean by a transfer of energy, right? You're ingesting this animal's energy. And the animal typically dies in a painful way. So you can either think about it as I'm taking in negative energies, I'm taking in negative neurochemicals that are telling my body to be depressed, to be sedentary, to slow down, to gain weight. Or you can understand that since meat in itself is inflammatory, it in fact is causing you to be more susceptible to infection, right? Because it inflames the body. So I tell people what I'm seeing in the hospital when it comes to COVID-19 or the coronavirus is that the people that are passing away, the people that aren't surviving, are not the healthiest of people. We're talking obesity, diabetes, uncontrolled blood pressure, uncontrolled kidney disease, right? When you're not taking care of the body, you allow it to be susceptible to whatever it wants to inhabit it. But if you're taking control over your health and you're doing things to keep the body in a state of growth, in a state of repair, in a state of being strong, then your immune system, by that same right, because as above, so below, is also strong and is in turn doing the same thing, trying to fight off anything that might be trying to take it out of its harmonious role.
Gosh, it makes so much sense. And you're convincing me that I probably need to reconsider my diet like today. So congratulations, because that was powerful. We've got a question from the audience, and I think it's a good segue to ask you now. Someone asks, if I get coronavirus, what should I eat to help it pass quickly?
So there's not a lot of attention out there, but sure, we're given stuff like Plaquenil or the hydroxychloroquine that you may have heard on on the news or the internet.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
But what you may not have heard is that we're also treating them with high dose vitamin C, zinc, these are all nutrients that you receive from leafy greens, kale, Swiss chard, beet leaves. You know, you get this by eating fruits and vegetables. And people are going to say, which ones? All of them. All of them, because you need an array of minerals, right? An array of nutrients. So it's not just eat this one thing. It's start thinking about how you're eating and start eating for health, right? We eat a lot for desire, right? Because it tastes good, or I have a taste for it. But if your body is your vessel, right? And you want it to last as long as possible, you want to put the best things in, because if you put good things in, you end up with results.
It's so true.
So things that are high in vitamin C, oranges, kiwis, like I said, kale, Swiss chard. There's a type of plum that has, just Google it. It's out there. It's all there for you for the taking.
Absolutely.
But Once you
Yeah.
start eating the plants, right, a plant-based diet, then you won't really have to be concerned about making sure I'm eating this one thing for vitamin C, because you're going to be building the entire immune system as you go.
You get that diversity, right? And they say you should eat to live, not live to eat. So that's fuel to our body. That's so powerful. So, earlier you talked about just the disease in our bodies and how it's harder to fight off corona when you may have pre-existing conditions.
Mhm.
MSNBC recently did a report last week, and it was mind blowing to me, and I know a lot of other people, because it gave us new information that maybe we hadn't been exposed to before. That African Americans were disproportionately impacted by coronavirus. I almost want to say to the tunes of 6 times more.
Right.
They were looking at some of the data in Chicago, and Black folks were being impacted where they were saying that we weren't before. That may have been rumor, but
Yeah.
how does that happen? And what are some of the things that you think or you're seeing, or just from your past experience, are causing us to be impacted more?
So this is not really surprising to me,
Okay.
because of the health discrepancies, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've always known that the Black community is whenever there's a disaster, the Black community is affected the hardest because they're last to get relief,
Yeah.
right? They're last to get funding, and we've been last and since honestly the birth of the nation.
Just last.
Exactly. But what I'm hoping that this opens our eyes to is that we can't rest our laurels on anyone else. We cannot say that this is the government should help come in and heal us. We have to understand that we are powerful.
Yeah.
We are extremely powerful. We're spiritual people.
Yeah.
And so not only do we have the ability to heal our bodies, we can heal our hearts, we can heal our minds, because we have such a close connection with God, right?
Absolutely.
And by drawing upon that power and understanding who we are, we can then make better changes for ourselves within, which then releases the power of healing within us. Because it's not going to change. It hasn't changed thus far, and we haven't elected a candidate that wants it to change. So
talk about that.
Health discrepancies are gonna remain. They're gonna remain. That's the way the system is built.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because it's not our system. We are our system. We are our strength. Our community is our strength. And as we start to rely more heavily upon spreading positive information, giving each other the keys to health and well-being, we will grow at a pace that hasn't been seen before. I say that people are now having a spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Well, we've had the awakening. We just need to put the masses together to use that force to bring positivity back to our community. It takes us to heal us, right?
And we can go within,
Exactly.
It's not always external. It's what's in us,
It's within us. And if it's within ourselves, then it is within our community. And so we need to first start to take control of our own health, our own personal health. And as we do that, we set the culture all of the time.
You're
right?
So right. You're so right. Love our
It
culture.
will spread like wildfire. But we first have to understand that what we've been taught generationally, what we've been programmed is just the wrong information, right? And that's at a point to keep you disenfranchised, to keep you buying meat, to keep you buying sugar, right? So you're spending money, which keeps you sick, which means the the insurance company, the hospital system, everybody starts to profit at the expense of our health.
Vicious cycle.
Whereas if we start to take control of our health on our own, we start to build a stronger foundation that no one can affect. And when these things occur, we're the group of people that will be like, well, how did they get spared? It's because they take care of themselves.
Wow, and that's an investment. One of the questions actually is concerned about the costs of a plant-based diet. What are the costs, or is it an investment? Am I going to be spending more money? Am I going to have to go to Whole Foods and I'm always shopping at Sprouts, or what does that mean if I do this transition? The audience wants to know.
It's not more expensive. In
Okay.
fact, if you're buying fruit and produce that's within season,
Yes.
it's actually cheaper because what you cook lasts longer. It lasts for meals. As that meat lasts typically that meal, right? So
Okay.
you're buying less often and it's going a little further. And
Mhm.
vegetables aren't expensive. The expense comes when you start to purchase the meat. And just think of it a little differently. Like for us, we eat red beans and rice a lot every Monday, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, you make your red beans and rice, but just without the sausage, right? You can still
Ah.
eat the same things, tweaking ingredients to create the same dish.
Mm.
So you may give up the meat, but what you gain is a wider palate, right? You
Yeah.
get to experience way more
Yeah.
because we typically make the same things over and over.
Yeah. And you explain, I mean, you use the word mindset. I think that's such a powerful part of all of this is
Yeah.
really shifting and adjusting your mindset, how you think about this. Because, you know, we talked about we learn things certain ways and we have to unlearn and relearn because maybe the way we grew up and the food that we ate growing up that our parents gave us is maybe something their parents taught them to eat and their parents taught them, and it's passed down to generations, and they were doing the best that they knew to do. But now that we know more and have more access to information, we have to change our mindset, you know. And it's not always, oh, it's more expensive. If you look at it as this is an investment to my body and I want my body to run, you know, and I want to put high quality things in it because I want a high quality machine that's going to run
Right.
well, then you're looking at it differently. So tell us a little bit more about maybe your mindset and that shift that you may have to have.
So I one day I had a fleeting thought, and it was like, how can I live forever? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that came to mind is it's what you're eating, right? It's what you're
Huh.
doing.
Hmm.
If you here's a we talk about mindset. Here's a good instance. I tell people take time, close your eyes, and try to picture your best you.
Mm.
See yourself with eyes closed. See the clothes you're wearing, the size, shape you want to be, doing the career you love, right? Be the epitome of who you think you are.
Yeah.
And that person is you, as long as you are doing the same things that that person would do, right? You are that person until you do something to the contrary.
Huh.
And what you're doing, what it takes to become that person, you have no other option but to be who that is. So when it comes to who do I want to be, how healthy I want to be,
Yeah.
you really are thinking about what it takes to be who that person is. And so the choices that you begin to make start to revolve around creating that vision. And when you commit to being that perfect person, to being that epitome of who you are, then you'll understand I spend money on this, I spend money on that, but I need to focus that into creating this person, this thing. And so the money comes, right? Don't think about the food being more expensive. Understand that the food that you're putting inside your body is growing you to be that best person, right?
Yes.
And so you won't feel like you're at a loss or something. You'll understand that you're now on a path that no one else understands but you. And if you listen to that voice inside you, it tells you how to make that happen, right? So having a mind that is positive, right? That is uplifted, that is motivated,
Yeah.
that's open, right? You think it might need to be that first and the food comes after, it comes together. When you start eating healthier, the mind clears, right? The energy gets better, it heightens, so the mood elevates. Your personal energy gets higher, so you want to move more.
Yeah.
So then, in essence, having acted that mindset, and now it starts to express itself physically.
That's powerful. So it's
But
not a loss; it's a gain. It's a gain.
caveat
Mm-hmm.
is that since it is all in the mind,
Yep.
you're focused on disease, if you're focused on pain, if you're focused on the work, then that too is what you shall experience. Which is why it's very important to take those negative thoughts that come and just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
because fear is not a real thing. It only exists in the mind. So if you can get rid of the fear that, oh, it might be too expensive for me to do the roadblock, right?
Yeah.
I can't do it without me, another roadblock. You're telling yourself who you are in that instance. So start telling yourself positive things.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do this. I
Yeah.
got this. I may not be this way yet, right? But it is happening. Claim it, right? Claim it, and it is yours. It will be provided to you. But it
That's
not
good
only
word.
takes the mind, you have to have the emotion behind it. You can say one thing, but if it isn't in your heart to do it, it does not occur, right? But if you feel this grandeur behind knowing you are who you want to be, right? You can then connect the powers of the mind, energy of the mind, to the energy of the heart, and that thing happens much faster.
Wow.
Because your attention changes.
Wow.
You're no longer focused on the disease. You're focused on growth, health, and harmony.
And you put that energy into it. They say the word fear is false evidence appearing real. So it's not even
Exactly.
real. It's just whatever you're thinking, you know. And so everything thought starts as a thought. As a man thinketh, so is he. So you know the thoughts that we're planting are seeds into what we do and our actions and the energy we put into all of this. So it's absolutely true.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of questions about just diet. So I'm going to take one more and then I want to transition a little bit to talk more about your practice because I know you know, talked about your practice is not just one way. It's not traditional, but you combine different things from quantum energy to light energy. So I'll ask one more question and then if the audience, if you allow me to pivot a little bit,
Absolutely.
we'll try to get back to some of these other questions. So just staying in the diet, someone asked, how does a healthy gut play in fighting viruses and overall health?
So the gut is like another brain, right?
Okay.
And when it's in disease, it allows a lot of entry into the body. So the gut is very long, right? The intestines are long, 2 football fields, I think.
Wow.
But so that lining, right, is a huge area for things from the external world enter into the body and then enter into the bloodstream, right? So when the gut is unhealthy, the lining of the gut is broken, cracked, frayed, fissured, which allows pathogens, abnormal bacteria, right, viruses to enter as well. So by keeping the gut healthy, right, by eating a plant-based diet, what you're doing is and especially a raw diet, you're eating this material that then goes through the gut pretty rapidly, stripping out all of the toxins from the body, detoxifying, and then eliminating. Not only that, by keeping the gut nice and alkaline, the gut lining has a better chance of keeping itself nice and healed, preventing disease and intruders from entering. But that happens with all of the mucous membranes, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, right? So when we eat meat, for instance, that sticks in the gut for weeks, constantly leaching in toxins, cholesterol, inflaming the gut, so the lining breaks down, right? You start ending up with a lot of colon disease, colon cancers, right? Colitis, inflammation of the colon.
Yes.
All of this can be healed by what it is you eat, right? Drinking aloe vera juice, distilled aloe vera juice, for instance, helps to calm the lining of the gut, forces things through. When you get a sunburn, right, we put aloe on it.
Yes.
The sunburn gets better.
Yes.
Well, think about what happens when you ingest that type of anti-inflammatory medicine, right? That has little to no side effect, which is majority of the plant material that we eat. Helps keep the gut nice and strong, which then helps keep you healthy.
So powerful. And what I also heard you say, Dr. Wilson, is it's being preventative. So making sure that you're doing proactive things so that you don't have to be so reactive. Like you're building your gut biome, you're building your body up so it can fight. You even mentioned viruses, so it can fight viruses. It's all connected. You know, so if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? especially when
Exactly.
diseases come.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Yes, love that. So, as I mentioned, I want to pivot a little bit. Tell us more about your practice. It's such a powerful thing to think of a doctor that is just has this open mind to not just the traditional medicine space. Um, how do you incorporate, non-traditional medicine, if you will, into your practice?
So in my hospital rounds, I'm always talking about the things that we just talked about, how diet, Ayurvedic medicine, so herbs and spices, how they heal,
Yeah.
because that's easy to sneak in. But there are certain patients that, for instance, are very anxious, right? Are overly concerned about their health or overly concerned about their recovery.
Okay.
I introduce meditation, right? I'll sit with them 5 to 10 minutes outside of the typical examination and literally just guide their meditative efforts
Wow.
to teach them to understand what it is that they want out of their health. And then, just like I told you, once they can see it, they can understand that they can be it. I practice what's called new paradigm, multidimensional transformation, a type of healing by hands or healing using light energy or etheric energy, because all of us have an aura, right? You've heard that term, which is
Absolutely.
an energy around the body. Well, that energy is very sophisticated, many different layers. We can't see it because we're using our physical eyes, right?
Yeah.
But there are things out there that happens that we don't understand because we don't know how to sense them, right? You can feel the wind, but you may not see the wind, sort of situation.
Yeah.
But there's an energy around your body that sometimes, if you hold your hands, you can feel the heat between them. Well, that energy needs to flow, just like the blood has to flow within the body. And when that energy stagnates, that also creates disease.
Okay.
If you think about the energy centers of the body, chakras, right?
Yep.
Those are all placed at very important glands in the body, and they correspond. So if, for instance, you get that sick feeling in your gut that you shouldn't do something, right?
Yeah.
You're not confident in it, right? That's your I am presence. That's a chakra sensor that's telling you not to do that. Or the gut's not working. Those things can be healed with the laying of hands. Now, that's not something that many people ascribe to because they don't understand how my energy can affect your energy. But we all had that effect. When you come into a room and people are angry, you feel that energy in the room, right? It makes you kind of want to shy away.
Yeah.
When people are happy and excited, you could be in a bad mood, and then all of a sudden you're happy and excited.
Yep.
That's energy influencing your own energy. Well, as you start to focus more on healing your body from within, your energies, your etheric energies also align and get stronger and brighter, right?
Yes.
Also keeps the body in harmony, right? Keeps the mind nice and clear because it allows energy to flow up and down. Keeps you in a mode perpetuating that healthy thought because the spirit is uplifted. And then the body also begins to heal physically.
Follow suit. Yeah.
Right. And in that instance, you start to think really about how you can heal the mind as well. And you begin to understand that since we are connected to the Almighty, we can then invoke that His presence and heal our minds by drawing in that type of energy.
Wow.
So we talk about this whole quantum energy, quantum healing, understanding how the energy flows within the body and how to affect that energy is really all that is. And science is now figuring this out in a way that they can demonstrate. But it has always been there. And it is more than we can even understand. But the more questions you ask, the more answers you get, right? And that produces more questions, but it leads to this growth, this energy, this learning, which all is important for the growth and development of the body.
Again, all connected. All
Okay.
connected. Yeah. So, are there any practices or anything that maybe you would offer to our audience? As maybe this is some people's first time really hearing and understanding energy. like maybe some intro practice. I'll call it a starter kit, if you will, for those that may want to learn more about it, or even have some practices that can help them get through hard times like these, maybe meditation or what are some
Meditation
things?
I think, is great.
Yeah,
And people get afraid of the term meditation because they think they have to sit still, sit quiet, and clear their mind. There are
right.
many different types of meditation.
Okay.
Yoga is a form of meditation, form of
Huh.
mindfulness. You can sit still and try to get to that empty space and feel the zen there.
Yeah.
But what I do is I kind of actively meditate. When I sit, I'm creating and visualizing things that I want to occur in my life. And I found that the more I do so, there's what happens are synchronicities, right? I find like, oh, I got a call from this person. I didn't want that to happen. And now here's an opportunity for that thing to happen. But by taking just 20 minutes a day,
Yes.
right? And thinking about things that you can do for yourself is a type of self-love that you don't get anywhere else, right? We're constantly going out trying to help others or heal others, but it takes a lot of determination, a lot of self-love to sit there and go into your heart and find that true desire, right? Your heart's desire. But if you take the time to understand this thing and see it clearly, you'll be given the steps of how to make it happen. Literally,
Yeah.
you will be given that favor.
Yeah.
Because you've taken the time to determine that it is what you're supposed to be, or who you're supposed to be.
It's a journey, even is what I'm hearing you say. Like healing is a journey, and it's so many different aspects that come with healing. We talked about diet, we talked about exercise, we talked about mindfulness. I think these are all things I'm hearing you say that really contribute to you healing your body, healing your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And putting you in mindset to find more information to help you do just that.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
So if I could say, if you said what were the keys, it's those three things. You're perfectly on diet, right?
Diet.
Because we have to give the body the nutrients that it needs in order to be the healthiest that it can be, to keep growing.
Yep.
Exercise, because if it doesn't, your body needs to be in motion.
Yes.
If you're not growing, you're dying. You've probably heard that before.
Yep.
The body wants to move. It's when we're sedentary that we succumb. But as long as we're growing, we continue to grow.
That's a word.
And then mindfulness.
And mindfulness.
To take the time to understand that life is incredible, right?
It is.
The more you look at it, right? Just the fact of us being here, to be able to experience one another is an incredible thing. And to be able to experience yourself in its purest form, in the best form that you can imagine, is something, is a goal that's as noble as can be. Because understanding who you are helps you to understand what God is, or who God is, right? Because as above, so below. So if you can understand you better, the closer you are to understanding who you are, the closer you are to understanding all of this.
And that takes it full circle. I mean, even as you started talking about how it's all connected. And those three things, again, diet, exercise, mindfulness, will help us even get through these hard times. These are challenging times, and everyone says, unprecedented. People aren't used to dealing with high levels of stress like this, and not being able to interact in the ways that we used to interact. I think those three things are going to be critical for people to get through troubled times like these. So,
and I would say this is the greatest time of any, right? Because we're forced to take a break.
Yeah. Yes.
To take a look at life, and just to see how beautiful it is. You're homeschooling the kids. Understand that this is a time when you can teach them exactly what you want them to know.
Wow.
Right? That's an incredible thing, to have that sort of guidance for your child, right?
Yeah.
We lose a lot of that, or we give a lot of that away by letting the schools do it.
Yeah.
But now you can understand more of how your kid learns and help them to succeed. You can teach them that mindfulness is a great thing, and start them on a practice together with yourself, and the family can grow, right? Because the family dynamic is everything.
Yeah.
We can strengthen the family, then the Black community strengthens, right?
Isn't that true? An investment in that, it
This
could
is a
turn
blessing
absolutely could
to a
turn
lot
it
of people.
all around. Could turn it all around. I've got a few more questions, a little bit more of a pivot, if you will.
Problem?
Have you had a COVID-19 patient? Have you encountered one before? Or
I take care of them pretty much all day.
Tell us
I take
about
care of
that.
them on the floors. I take care of them in the ICU.
Okay.
And to be honest, at first it was I wouldn't even say scary thing, because as physicians, we kind of thrive in this sort of situation. Learning is fast. It's
Yes.
important. And by knowing and doing well, we can help a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there was some trepidation in getting into this. And people are dying because we were unprepared for what occurred. But we quickly shifted. I'm talking almost instantaneously to making sure that we were giving people the best care that we can.
Yeah.
And I will say that the hardest part of it all hasn't necessarily been treating the patients. That takes time. The body takes time to heal.
Yes.
What's been difficult has been the family members being unable to interact in this process, right? Typically,
I can't imagine.
Loved one is sick, you can be by their side. You can hold their hand. You can share your energy, right? But in the instance now, where there's no visitation in most hospitals, you don't really see, you don't see the progression of things, people getting better or people getting sicker. And I think that's really difficult for the community to understand how serious the disease really is. Because you don't understand what's going on in the hospital so completely. So yes, I have taken care, I should say I take care of COVID patients daily. I'm not getting sick. I can't. I take every precaution possible so that I don't bring this home to my family, but making sure that I'm giving a complete care to those that are in need.
That's a powerful statement too, and it kind of transitions into another question we have. So I'm curious how you are so confident that you won't get it. What are some of the things that you're doing to prevent yourself from getting it? And then one of the questions from the audience, a bit related, is if the virus is airborne, is it okay to go outside without a mask? Someone specifically is asking about walking or climbing or hiking, exercise, outdoor exercise. Is it okay to go outdoors without a mask? And how do you protect yourself?
So how I protect myself in the hospital is by making sure that I change my clothes into scrubs when I get there. I change out of those scrubs before I come home, right? Throughout the day, I'm constantly washing my hands, constantly. I wear a respirator all day. The moment I hit the hospital doors, my mask is on. It doesn't come off until the moment I leave, and I'm in my car and heading out. When I'm at home, we try to keep things as clean as possible. Once again, hand washing, we eat healthy, and we exercise. I make sure to get the boys some exercise pretty much every day, which leads us to being outside. Now, yes, outdoor exercise is great. So yes, it is airborne. But when you think about the great outdoors, there's so much wind blowing that you spray cologne outside, you don't smell it for very long, right? It dissipates, right, into the. But indoors, right, there's not as much air circulating, or it's recirculating.
True.
So if you're in something like a grocery store or in close quarters, that's definitely a time to wear a mask. I say I don't trust anyone but myself. So if I'm going around others, I wear a mask, and that's one, in part, that I protect myself from them, but also, since I know that I am exposed, that's to protect them from me. Just in case. But no, you want to get outdoors, because when you're outdoors, you're getting sunlight. Sunlight provides vitamin D. Vitamin D is very good in helping keep managing the hormonal systems, right? Not only that, you need exercise to keep the body moving, to keep the body strong, to keep the body growing. And so outdoor activity is important, and I do it myself. We go biking, and unless typically you're not going to be around very many people. But if there are a lot of people on your trail, just wear your mask as you do it. Now you might have to step off to the side every few miles or so, or however often, to take your mask off and catch some air.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But if you're going to be around others, wear a mask. Wear a mask because it's there. I've read that it can linger in the air for 3 hours, right? Which is why as soon as I walk through the hospital doors, I put my mask on.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm going into a grocery store, my mask is on. Right?
Same
Because
here.
you never know. When it comes to your hands, you can always wash your hands.
Yeah.
I want to point out a thing. People are wearing gloves, right? Understandable. But the gloves are not to be worn all day. If you're wearing gloves at, let's say, a gas station, the gloves should be thrown away immediately. Otherwise, you take whatever is on the handle and then transfer it to everything.
It's true.
Everything else.
It's true.
So that's not how they work. They work in an instant, and then they're disposed of. So that's just a tidbit for those out there that may be thinking that gloves are helping. Hand washing is one of the best things that you can do.
It is so true. It is so true. We're getting a few more questions in. Now, I know this may not be in your space, but you may have an idea of about how long do you think we'll have to social distance?
Honestly, I feel that even if they lift the ban sometime in May, that as a community, we're probably going to end up doing it sometime just because there's a lack of trust there.
Yeah.
And that so many have gotten sick. So I can't predict how long it's going to be before the government decides to lift the restrictions. But right? You feel it in you that now is not the time. So as of right now, stay indoors if you don't need to be outside, right? Or I should say stay in your home, because that includes the yard and what have you. Stay in your own little home until the ban is lifted. But for right now, we're still fighting the good fight. So now is not the time to let up. Now is the time to push harder so we can flatten the curve even more so.
Absolutely. What about our elders, our elderly community? There's those that may be sick or elderly, more susceptible. Is there anything diet-wise or even some of the other practices you mentioned that may help them more just to be able to fight this or stay strong through this?
The same thing that you would do for yourself is what they should do for themselves, or you can do for them. A healthy diet isn't something that's limited to the young and healthy.
Yeah.
It should be everyone. And when you're giving food made with love, that's also healing, right? So just by taking the time to make sure that they're okay brings an energy to their home that wasn't there before. So you're healing in that way. You're providing nutritious meals, so you're healing in that way. And the fact that they see you doing this will elevate their mood, elevate their energies, which will heal in that way. Just make sure that before you go over, if you have to go over, you're practicing the same sanitary exercises, keeping the hands washed, wearing your mask, and give them a mask to wear while you're there with them, right? That's also very important because a lot of our elderly don't have the resources or the time to go get their own protective equipment. But hopefully they're staying inside and they're getting their family members to provide them with the things that they need, including interaction.
Yeah, definitely. And that's an important point, even in the same household. If they're elderly, it may be important to wear a mask
right.
in certain situations.
Especially if you're going to be out and about. You want to make sure that you're not transmitting anything to them.
Makes sense. Makes sense. We have to take this serious.
Right.
Any closing thoughts? We're getting close to time. I want to just give you the opportunity to summarize or maybe provide some thoughtful words or advice or just some things that we should think about and take with us as we wrap up today.
So first things first, the COVID virus is very serious. So take it as such.
Yeah.
But this time is not all negative. This is something that's happening. And what we really should do is transmute that energy, change that energy from a negative experience to a positive experience.
Yep.
And to do so is all about how we see things, our mindset. And by being mindful, right, You can take this time to grow yourself, to grow your business, to grow your brand, to grow your family,
Yeah.
because time is a blessing, right? And now we have so much of it that if we really put our minds to it, we can be that thing that we visualize ourselves to be. So take time to eat healthy, exercise,
Yes.
and keep the mind nice and clear, full of positive and loving thoughts, because love is everything.
I could not agree more. You summed it up beautifully. I enjoyed talking with you today, Dr. Bruce Wilson. Again, thank you for your time and your insight. We're so appreciative of you, and I hope everyone enjoyed and got something out of it today. Thank you. Taylor, I think it's up to you now. Come on back.
That was excellent. Dr. Wilson, amazing stuff. Um, Key takeaways: diet, exercise, meditation. But something I feel like I always tell you all, you are connected to God. You are connected to God because God is in you. God is not existential outside of you. But all you need to do is look within, and everything you need to survive is there. Fill your mind, despite your circumstance, with positivity. Fill your mind with thoughts of success. Fill your mind with dreams. I preached a sermon before called Your Story. If you use all of your creative capacity to be everything that you think that you want to be and that you've dreamed of being, you won't have time for anything else. Yes, you can incorporate, dietary changes, meditation, and exercise, but use all of your capacity to dream and create and put those positive thoughts in your mind and body, and you will eventually be where you would like to be and see what you would like to see. Again, I promised an update about our bishop. Many of you have sent me text messages personally. Many of you have asked Janelle. I've received text messages from some people. Like, there's a lot of different things going around about Bishop. Here is the latest details. Bishop is in a good place. There has been progress. And this is what I want you to know: any progress is progress toward recovery. What our bishop is dealing with is lymphoma. He's been dealing with lymphoma on and off since 2006 when he was diagnosed with it for the very first time. This time it's a different lymphoma, but what you should know about lymphoma is that it's treatable. And not only is it treatable, it's curable. We've had some reluctancy about what they want to do as far as the cure, but once we make it through this round of things, we're going to explore the curable measures this time around. Bishop is a little better than what he was this past weekend, and he will probably be admitted into Cancer Treatment Centers of America here in Noonan, Georgia, on tomorrow. He sees the lymphoma specialist on tomorrow. Things moved really quickly. He will have a PET scan, and he could begin treatment as after the PET scan tomorrow, as early as the end of the week or early next week. He will be fine. Um, and the only reason you haven't heard from him is because he's conserving his energy. He's conserving his energy because he needs to conserve his energy. Because he has eating challenges, he has appetite challenges, but it's all due to the lymphoma. But it's been identified. The Bible talks about calling out your adversary by its name, and its name is lymphoma. And now you know exactly what to pray for. You know what to tell the doctors. You know what to pray for when you're praying for the doctors that are going to be working with him and on them. Bishop is dealing with lymphoma, but it is curable, it is treatable, and we will get past this. He is on the road to recovery. which is progress. And a lot of progress was made today. I did not go John Q in the hospital. All of your prayers worked. So thank you. Um, this is the latest update. We go back tomorrow morning. We were there today. We go back tomorrow morning. He will see his lymphoma doctor, Dr. Lingham. Pray for Dr. Lingham. She is a woman doctor. Um, she's going to be taking care of Bishop through his lymphoma. And we will see her tomorrow. He's going to get a PET scan tomorrow, and he's probably going to have his treatment plan within 48 hours, if 24 to 48 hours. So we are happy. We are excited because of Dr. Wilson and his testimony. I see our bishop healed. Bishop, I encourage you to see yourself healed. LeVar, I encourage you to see him healed. Congregation, I encourage you to see him healed. And I encourage you to keep bombarding heaven with prayers for him, for yourself, and all of your loved ones. And I hope you got something out of this today. Remember, if you can think it, you can probably do it. The rest is up to you. God bless you. We will see you when we see you. And thank you for watching. All right. Bye-bye.